Donald Trump has asked Judge Aileen Cannon to update the schedule of hearings that are going to be going on in his classified documents case in Florida. He wants her to look at the immunity claim that he's asked her to, about, and he wants to hold an updated hearing after the Supreme Court decision on July 1st. He thinks that because they said in that decision that he has some immunity based on core acts of the president, that now some or all of these charges get to be tossed out because of this decision. Now, it's a pretty simple idea if you ask me. It is not a core duty of the president to take classified documents out of the secure areas where they are not allowed to leave and then stash them in your private residence. But because some of those last minute things that he did in the final hours of his presidency, he thinks that there may be some immunity there, and he wants that looked at. The other thing he wants her to look at is this idea that Jack Smith was unconstitutionally appointed. So he wants to reopen that because Clarence Thomas, in a concurring opinion, wrote that there's some merit in this claim that Jack Smith was unconstitutionally appointed, and they need to look at that. Well, concurring opinions don't carry any weight in official decisions or in official rulings. However, you can do it in things like this, where you add it to a filing and say, well, see, this judge over here also said this, and it gives some weight to your opinion on a matter. Now, I don't think there's any chance Jack Smith gets ruled to be unconstitutional or anything like that, but this immunity thing may have some weight, and we could see how it goes. But what Donald Trump doesn't realize is, I believe, on top of Jack Smith laying a trap for Judge Cannon, Donald Trump himself may have backed her into a corner with this decision. By asking her to look at this immunity thing and saying there's something there, if she says there is any immunity on this, Jack Smith will obviously appeal. Now, she would have to do that as some kind of a papered order, which would be appealable. She couldn't do what she's been doing, which calling it a scheduling thing, or do a paperless order that's just entered into the record. She would have to issue an order which is appealable. And then Jack Smith appeals her to the 5th Circuit, or the 11th Circuit, I'm sorry, I have my circuits backwards. And he appeals to the 11th Circuit, the 11th Circuit overrules her and probably gets her recused. However, if she sides with with Jack Smith, Donald Trump was going to appeal, but during the process of that appeal, when Jack Smith could then turn around, file a motion with all of his evidence against her, and they could still look at it and potentially get her recused. I think this could be the decision that gets her off this case and maybe off the bench.